I was digging around my old Lego boxes the other day, and I came across a blue trooper minifigure. He looks like something from Star Wars, but now that I think about it, I don't recognize him at all. After a bit of digging and research, this is a deep dive into the minifigure, known as the Special Forces Clone Trooper. I will discuss a bit about his origins, what I think of his design, and finally, determine if he's worth the price on BrickLink. Let's see if we can figure out everything about this clone, and take a look at just how special he really is. Released in 2013, the blue clone was part of the Yoda Chronicles subtheme, a non-canon animated LEGO miniseries about a Sith-created, Force-sensitive clone named Jack 14. And yes, I do realize how weird that sounds. The Special Forces Clone Trooper is a recurring character in the series. Serving for the Grand Army of the Republic, he was tasked with pursuing Jack 14 for a lucrative bounty. Armed with a blaster and an energy shield, he is a determined yet clumsy antagonist in the show. He also pilots a Z-95 headhunter as his personal Starfighter, and his story arc concludes with him and a fellow bounty hunter stranded in the depths of space, imprisoned in a makeshift cell built by the Force-sensitive clone. If you have the time, I'd actually recommend checking out the miniseries. The story is quite simple, and the premise sounds a bit weird, but I think it's a fun twist on the mainline Star Wars films. Alright, now let's break down the design, starting with the pieces that make up the minifigure. Consisting of a helmet, head, torso, and leg piece. His accessories also includes a white pauldron, and he is armed with a regular Star Wars blaster and a trans blue disc piece, which we will get into in a bit. I think the first thing that really comes to mind is the general azure blue color scheme. It's a pretty rare Star Wars minifigure color, and this shade of blue reminds me of Senate Commando troopers, especially the captain. If we do a comparison, we can find similar black detailing with intricate white accents across both of their armors. A design choice I really appreciate are the armor details on the blue clone. I want to make a comparison to regular Phase 2 grunts, since despite being genetically identical clones, their armor design diverges significantly. Regular Phase 2 armor follows the design from the Clone Wars show, where large, broad pieces of plastoid plating is used for protection. Their design also features curvier and rounded markings, especially in the abdomen area of their armor. In contrast, the Special Forces armor feels familiar but still quite different. Sharp black lines stretch from his helmet all the way to his knees. His torso features similar broad pieces of armor, but the designers added a ton of extra jagged and angular details to it, making his armor feel comparatively bulkier and giving it a more high-tech and futuristic look. Honestly, I don't think I can find a single curved printing on his design, aside from the insignia, which we will talk about in a bit. Taking a closer look at their shiny helmet, we can see that despite being a clone, his helmet actually shares the same mold as Stormtroopers. You can tell they're the same by the shaping of the lower portions, as well as the same rounded details on the side. Following the same angular design from his torso, the helmet features a set of sleek, aggressive-looking visors, and I believe this two-slit design is unique only to two other figures, both of which are also from the Yoda Chronicles subtheme. Coincidentally, I own a CMF Knight figure that looks somewhat similar to the blue clone, and when I searched up medieval knight helmets online, I'm pretty confident his design is inspired from one of these. A more familiar design detail is the red triangle found on his forehead. We actually see this in other LEGO characters, namely the White Boba Fett and Phase 1 Commander Wolf figures, which I might add are some of the most sought after items by LEGO collectors. Other characters like Clone Trooper Dogma, Boyle, and of course Face to Wolf also have the triangles in the shows. However, after quite a bit of research, I still could not find a satisfying explanation for what the triangle means or signifies. If you know anything or you have a theory, please share it down in the comments. Getting a closer look at the torso, we can find a fairly small Republic insignia adorned on the left chest plate, which is a rarity among troopers aside from, well, you know, the guy who has a tattoo of it on both his helmet and his forehead. Anyways, the insignia here functions like a badge, and along with the white pauldron, they give off strong authoritarian or sort of like officer vibes. Speaking of the pauldron, it is single-shouldered, and it features this pattern with blue outlining. The design sure is very unique, but I can't find any information about it. If I had to guess, it probably signifies his affiliation as part of the Special Forces. The white utility belt printed on his torso and hips also adds to this more commanding presence, a design clearly inspired by the regular clones. The blue clone is equipped with regular Star Wars blasters and an energy shield. Personally, I think the shield is a bit oversized and looks a bit goofy on him, taking away the more authoritative feel of the figure. But then again, it makes the silhouette all the more unique, which I think is a plus in my book. Another thing that can be criticized is the lack of arm printing. But to that, I would say I don't believe it's a big issue. I mean, sure, having more printing could be nice, but with a pauldron and a massive shield, I think those provide enough detail for the figure, compensating for the rather plain blue arms. Design-wise, the Special Forces Clone Trooper feels both familiar and fresh. While it is clearly inspired from other Star Wars characters, the overall design language looks very unique and cool. The angular and jagged lines goes pretty hard with the bold color blocking, giving it an experimental appearance. To me, it's a great example of LEGO's creativity in designing a Star Wars character with their own twist, and I feel like it's something that is sorely lacking in recent years. Now, given all these factors, what score would I give for its design? And yeah, I'd confidently rate this design in S tier. I think this is especially valid when it's a 12-year-old design, and the printing quality still rivals some of the clones we get today. When people say that 2009 to 2014 is the golden era for LEGO Clone Wars sets, I think this minifigure is a good example of that as well. I would say it's one of the more weirder and unique ones too. Due to how the Special Forces Clone Trooper was only released in set 75018, Jack 14's Stealth Starfighter, back in 2013, if you want a new one on BrickLink, it will cost you over $40 US. And if you want the entire set, that's gonna be at least $170. After talking so much about this clone minifigure, here is my final verdict. I actually believe the figure justifies its hefty price tag. Yes, it's pricey, but given that LEGO will probably never make new sets for the Yoda Chronicles, this is the only version of this trooper we will ever get. And I mean, just look at it. The gorgeous prints and the unique silhouette makes this figure, in my opinion, a standout addition for Star Wars and Clone Wars fans alike. And if you're just a LEGO collector looking for something unique, I think picking up this guy is a no-brainer. Nothing out there really matches his style or look. That wraps up my deep dive into the Special Forces Clone Trooper, but what do you think? Let me know if you agree with the S tier rating, and also, I want to know if you guys like this deep dive format. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more LEGO minifigure content. I will be covering more Star Wars figures and other rare stuff in the future, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. This is all figured out, and I'll see you in the next one.